Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, noon, wherever you are. I hope it is good. So, I am doing my live review for Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. I will, of course, be doing the spoiler-free review first, so as to not spoil anything for anybody. Then when I am going to go over to spoilers, I will switch the banner over to spoiler review. So right now I'm doing spoiler free reviews, so none of you want to run away. So yeah, Fantastic Beasts 3. A lot of people are saying, oh, the movie sucks, the movie's terrible, the movie's this, the movie's that. And while this movie does in fact have some problems with it, admittedly, I do not think it is all that bad. You see, I am a fan of the Harry Potter series, and I do kind of enjoy the films on a subjective level. But I also do acknowledge that there are flaws with them, especially the Fantastic Beasts 2 and 3. Specifically with the cases of characters who should not exist. In Fantastic Beasts 3, there are certain characters who are not in this movie that you kind of want to see more of because of their involvement in the second film. Specifically, the character of Nagini, who we all know becomes a Horcrux, but I wish that her character would have been more explored in this film. Her being a Maledictus in the second film was pretty interesting. It gives Nagini a little bit of sympathy for what she becomes later. But I do wish that her character was in this film because it would have served a good purpose to what is going on in the story. We all know that there is a battle between Albus and Credence, or Aurelius, as he is known from Fantastic Beasts 2. This scene, or this movie, has good acting. I will give it that. It has good acting. However, there are certain scenes that were or could have been better and benefited better by a little bit better direction. You see in the first movie, you see how protective Newt is of his creatures, especially his briefcase. This movie takes it to a much tamer level, and it kind of bends a lot of the rules that we've been known, or that we have known if you know the Harry Potter world. We all seen in the, how you doing, Jacob? We all seen in the trailers that Jacob gets a wand. Oh, he must be magical. Well, they actually explain the whole wand thing in the movie, obviously. I'm not going to explain what it is until I go to spoilers. And for those of you who are joining, please feel free to leave a like, a comment even. Feel free to share the stream out. It does help more than you know. I am trying to get to 1,000 subs. If I can get to 1,000 subs before June, I will dye my hair and my beard orange so that you can all make fun of it. So, yeah. The scenes, or the writing of this movie, there are slip-ups. There are scenes that are gone through and events that are discussed in which cause contradiction to what we know from the books and Harry Potter films. Well, actually, more importantly, from the books in Harry Potter. We all see that, or we see Aberforth or in this film, and much younger Aberforth. And I must say that they actually do a good job finding an actor who plays a younger version of the Aberforth we know from the 7th Harry Potter film, or the 8th Harry Potter film, rather, where Kieran Hines is given makeup to make himself look totally different than what he really looks like, to kind of look more like Dumbledore. They actually found an actor to play Aberforth that actually looks like somebody that grows into the young or the older Aberforth. So that was actually well done in casting. We do see some special effects in this film that are subpar in some areas and actually better in others. This movie does not feel like a Fantastic Beasts movie. It does feel like it's part of the Harry Potter universe. However, there are not many Fantastic Beast moments. There are literally only three beasts that are introduced in this film. You got the one that showed in the trailer that can puff itself up like a balloon and then fly away in another way. You have another big thing from the trailer, those little crab scorpion looking things. And then you have a creature that is more important to the plot, so they kept it out of the trailer. There are things in this film that do kind of break the lore a little bit. One thing in particular happens in the beginning of the movie, and it's like, really? That kind of is weird considering what is, or the spells being cast. Ezra Miller's acting in this film, as he is indeed an insane psychopath in real life, his acting in this film actually I will say he is a gifted actor. He does a good job in this film. For what his character is going through, for what his character is, or what he wants as his character wants, he does a good job in portraying it in a way that makes you kind of wish that he would have what he needs. And I honestly think that this film would have benefited a little bit more from that story being brought forward a little bit more in depth. Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald, that is the main point of contention in this film, and also it is the biggest problem in the film. While Mads Mikkelsen is an excellent actor, Johnny Depp has already established himself as Grindelwald. So everybody understands that Grindelwald's character, who is two movies in, and now in this third one where you have Mads Mikkelsen not playing Johnny Depp's Grindelwald, but playing his own version of Grindelwald, you definitely see a change in demeanor. And you see that there are things about this new Grindelwald that are not as, Johnny Deppish. Johnny Depp, I think, actually played Grindelwald to a degree that was very interesting. However, this new Grindelwald with Mads Mikkelsen, is honestly, it's his own, yes. He plays a character that is manipulative very well, but is it Grindelwald, One thing I think would have done a good job of making Grindelwald, or at least trying to relate Johnny Depp's Grindelwald to Mads Grindelwald, is making the heterochromia, the two different eye colors, a little bit more popping. His eye color is, he still has the two different eye colors. However, they do not show it very clearly. And that is one of the things that I thought could have been a little bit better, as well as his hair. Sorry, I had to hang now. Mads played the role well. He played the role well in his own way. I will give him that, Damongo. However, I wish they had kept his hair white. Not necessarily in the flared up way that Johnny Depp's hair was in the second movie, but I wish that they would have kept the hair white instead of a stripe of white hair. I also wish that they had kept the eye as popped out as much as with the eye color, the two different eye colors. I wish that it was more noticeable in this film than it was. The way the story goes in this, as I said, objectively, there are, in the Harry Potter universe, there are lore contradictions. You truly do wish that they had kept Minerva McGonagall out of this series. She is not alive yet during the time of these events. However, because they put her in the second film, which was very stupid, they put her in this one with a small bit part, very small, and still that harms the film on an objective standard, because you are putting a character who is not supposed to exist in the film. When you are connecting these as a greater series that will connect to the Harry Potter films, you are damaging your continuity. So, yeah, there is that. From an objective standpoint, meaning without bias, you are damaging continuity when you have Minerva McGonagall in these films. They should have kept her out. They should have not put her in. That was a mistake on J.K. Rowling's part. Also, from what I hear, J.K. Rowling was not a part of the production of this film. So yes, they screwed up in some of the writing in this film, especially a scene between Newt and Dumbledore, where Dumbledore discusses what happened with his sister Ariana. Now, many of us who, if you have read the books, you know that Dumbledore, Aberforth, and Grindelwald were in a duel together against all three of each other, fighting each other, and Ariana got hit with a curse. And she died. The way that they describe it is different in the movie, which is actually damaging. You see, when you decide to willingly change the continuity, you are saying that we are not going to follow the continuity, so we don't care. You have to have a sense of consistency in these films if they are going to objectively work together. Harry Potter movies did it very well because they were all a year apart. The fight between Albus and Grindelwald could have been longer. It was very short. Yes, it was. That is another thing. When you have two wizards going or fighting each other, but the way that I see it, now that the Blood Pact is playing a role in this film, I cannot go into too much because they do fight in this film, yes. So they actually did spoil it in the in the trailer. Yeah, they showed them fighting in the trailer. So yes, it's not too much of a stretch to see that the Blood Pact is destroyed in this movie. That is not really truly a spoiler, because the Blood Pact, or how the Blood Pact gets destroyed, I'll go over in spoilers. But the Blood Pact is destroyed, and they do fight, and it is a very brief fight. So I'm hoping that when they finally do the big fight that has been hinted in the Harry Potter universe, where in 1945, Gellert, Grindelwald, and Dumbledore have their final duel in which Dumbledore eventually triumphs, I'm hoping that will be an extremely long fight. This fight needs, or a fight like that would have to last like 30 freaking minutes. This one in this film only lasted about a minute. Now, the introduction of the German ministry, that was an interesting take. And before I do get into it, I am going to have to switch this over to spoilers. So, objectively speaking, this movie, with the continuity violations, with the inconsistent writing, with the inconsistent storytelling, this movie is at a 6 out of 5, or a 6 out of 10, rather. It fails. A 6.5 is a pass by the skin of your teeth. This is a 6 out of 5. Unfortunately, Fantastic Beasts 3, from an objective standpoint, does not pass. It's not a good movie. However, subjectively, meaning with my bias, and as I am a fan of the of the Wizarding World, I will give this movie an 8 out of 10. This movie is good. It's entertaining. As I was watching the people in the theater with me, they were all entertained. You had laughter. You had people engaging. You had people whispering to each other about different spells that they remember. You have people talking all about different things. It was an entertaining movie. So, moviegoer, this movie is a 9 to a 10 out of 10. So now we are going to move over to spoilers. And this is where the movie, or where I'm going to discuss spoilers, folks. So if you do not want to see or hear what I'm going to talk about, or hear any spoilers for the film before you see it yourselves, I suggest you go watch the movie and then come back to play this part. So I will give you 15 seconds in order to take off. After 15 seconds, if you do not want spoilers, you have nobody but yourself to blame. So now 15 seconds is now up. So moving into spoilers. The Blood Pact in the film does play a role. Albus is indeed trying to destroy it. And they add a little bit more of a rule to it. They also have a thing where Albus has it wrapped around his arm and whatnot. And apparently, if Albus decides to betray Grindelwald or betray what the Blood Pact represents, it will harm him. I think that is kind of a interesting consequence. It is indeed something that sets up that you can, or that if they do try to do battle with each other, it is indeed it would probably kill each other, or kill one of them, or both. So yes, there is a good tie-in with that. A lot of people are going to say this movie is woke because of the whole admittance that Albus is gay when he fell in love with Dumbledore, which they do talk about that. When he says, I fell in love with you and whatnot when we were together and yada yada. When we were together is not really a gay line, because they were together at one point because they were trying to reshape the wizarding world or to dominate the Muggle world. So that's not really a line of gay inclination. However, when he said he was in love with him, and that, or when Albus says that he indeed loved Gellert, well, yeah, that doesn't, or that, you can't hide that. So yes, they did do that in China, where they had 6 seconds of the film taken out so that they can make their money, even though they want to claim that they're allies of the LGBTQ, as as everybody else seems to be reporting. Oh, it just shows the hypocrisy. Well, do you expect any freaking company, Disney or Disney, Warner Brothers, any of them, to really care about the LGBTQ community? Folks, get it through your skulls, as well as the other YouTubers out there who seem to be so shocked by this, or who seem to report on this with any sort of righteous indignation. They're going to be hypocrites every time. They do not care about the LGBTQ community. They will write in a gay character, sure, but when they want that Chinese money, they're going to bow down and suck on the teat and lick the balls of the Chinese government. They will indeed kowtow to the Chinese government in order for them to make their money. They will inevitably change Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness just so that they can get the Chinese money. So yes, anybody who is reporting on the 6 seconds of footage that is wiped from this movie to suit the Chinese, don't act so surprised. And yeah, while you can indeed hold it against China and hold it against Warner Brothers, they did it, or other companies have done it before, so why are you acting so shocked? Yes, I am, in fact, calling out other channels, not by specific name. I mean, if you reported on this, chances are I am calling you out. Now, if you want to come at me, fine, go ahead. But honestly, I've tried telling some of you, are you guys really surprised at this? You chose to ignore my comments, so whatever. But anyway, yeah. Them pointing out that Gellert and Dumbledore are gay is no real big thing because they already explained it or JK already acknowledged it, and it was kind of very much strongly hinted at in Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. The story in which, or the way that they screwed up the story with Ariana Dumbledore, is that Dumbledore himself, Albus, tells Newt about the battle that claimed her life. How it was simply between him and Aberforth, in which they are, or in which one of their spells rebounded and killed Ariana. And yes, they also say that she is an Obscurus, but not like Credence. Well, here's the thing. Ariana died in her early teens. So obviously she is kind of like Credence because she lives past the age of 8 as an Obscurial. So that's odd. By making her an Obscurus, well, it's rare that they live past 8. Credence was known to be the only one to do it, but now they have Ariana Dumbledore as an Obscurial who died at, I think, 14 or 12 or 13 or 14. So yeah, how are you guys, or there's another bust in violation or lore. Also, they said that or the way that Dumbledore explained the duel, it was only between him and Aberforth, when it was actually Aberforth versus Gellert versus Dumbledore. versus Aberforth. All three of them were fighting each other, and one of those spells hit Ariana Dumbledore, killing her. They also show the killing curse taking a very long time to kill a magical creature, which is weird. The chillin, or whatever it's called, the chile, or chiller, or chillin, or chilling, or whatever it's called. The mother that gives birth to the twins in this movie, well, you have an idiot throw a killing curse at this thing, and it takes a full 8 minutes to die. You are thereby depowering the killing curse, which is another reason that led to the lower objective score when they tell you that when you get hit with a killing curse, you are automatically dead. Sorry, folks, but if you really want to make a movie objectively good, you are going to have to do some things that make the story consistent. While I do like this movie, do not get me wrong, one of my favorite things about this movie happens to be Tina Goldstein, even though she was only a limited part in this because she got promoted to head of the American Horror Office. That woman is hot, and she's very attractive. And she is one of the better parts about this film. There is another inconsistency in this movie. Tina, her sister Queenie, finally comes back to the good guys. Hold on one second, folks. Sorry, had to take care of something. Had to sneeze. Whew. So she comes back to the good guy stuff, or the good guys team. Because she realized how evil Grindelwald truly is. Because in this movie, Gellert Grindelwald is absolved of his crimes by the German Ministry of Magic. And it seems that they want him, or he's able to enter the standing for head of the wizarding world as a whole. The wizard or Wizengamot or whatever, where he is literally the head of the wizarding world. And this chillin creature, this beast, or this magical beast, is what defines or determines the people. Now, Gellert kills one because there are twins and ends up bewitching it to make it look like it's alive. And tries to manipulate the situation to make him look like he has been chosen by this creature. Because this creature can see into the souls of people and divine their true intent. It is an interesting beast, do not get me wrong. And I like how it actually goes to Dumbledore, and he's like, I'm truly honored, but as you were born with another, I am sure that there is a second person here that can fit the bill of who's going to rule the wizarding world. And then it goes over to one of the main or other characters who basically is just named, and it didn't really matter. It's just some woman that they have to rule the wizarding world. Now, the battle between Gallart and Dumbledore, it is incredibly short, yes. And it shows just how much they do still care about each other. And how the blood pact is destroyed. Credence is a Dumbledore. And he went after Albus. Albus told him that he was lied to. However, you are a Dumbledore. You're just not my brother. Actually, he's his nephew. Because Aberforth did have a child. Aberforth had a romantic entanglement with somebody from Godric's Hollow, and ended up having the child they ended up having the child in secret, and the kid was sent away. So yes, Albus or Aurelius Dumbledore, or Credence Dumbledore, however you choose to call him by, is a Dumbledore, just not a brother to Albus and Aberforth. And 2 Obscurials in the Dumbledore family. Odd. So yeah, they do explain that Ariana is an Obscurious. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. Yes, she had outbursts and whatnot, so it does make sense that she could. Yeah, well, yeah, it does make sense that she's an Obscurious. However, she died later than normal Obscuriouses or Obscurials. Also, Credence may not be in the next movie because Ezra Miller's character is dying in this film because the power of the Obscurial is killing him. They don't, or the reason why they don't, or they end up not lasting longer than 8 years old is because the power does consume them and they end up dead. However, Credence is so powerful that he is able to, or somehow so powerful that he can able to hold off this creature or this force inside of him from tearing him apart until he is in his 20s, apparently. Fawkes, the Phoenix, how it's always how it looks very charred and whatnot, or you always remember Phoenix from the Harry Potter films. You always remember him to be very red, very rich red plumage. Where in this movie, he's kind of a very dark burnt red and sometimes even black burning. It's very inconsistent. That is another problem with the objective quality as well. They couldn't decide how they wanted Fawkes to look. It's like, make him red. Make him look like he did in Harry Potter. That is how you do it. But whatever. As for how the Blood Pact is destroyed, Gellert tries to kill Credence because Credence has betrayed him. And you see the killing curse go launched at Credence, and in slow motion, you also see Aberforth's protective spell as well as Albus's protective spell meeting in front of Credence, plus the killing curse being stopped by 2 protective spells, which, because Albus and Grindelwald launched attacks that met, apparently that is enough to destroy the Blood Pact. It's odd. It doesn't explain how. And they're like, honestly, I don't know how, but it seems like it's fate. Well, maybe if you guys had an idea of how the fucker got destroyed, or what caused it to be destroyed, what specific circumstance, they give a theory, because I was dueling to protect and Grindelwald was dueling to kill, that broke the Blood Pact. Well, yeah, but that only works if you attack each other. But whatever. Yeah. Also, them going into different worlds to duel each other. Yeah, that's odd. I mean, that's not really explained very well, and I think that they could have explained that a lot better. Gellert almost becoming the leader of the Wizarding World was interesting. I love how they have the kind of Nazi-esque characters in the German Ministry of Magic, because this is in the 30s, and, well, Hitler is rising to power in the Muggle world. But they don't mention any of that in this movie. Yeah, there's just a lot that this movie did decently, but there's a lot that this movie didn't do very well. And there are the things, the scenes with Newt and his brother and whatnot. This movie could have done better. I mean, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is supposed to be a franchise about Newt Scamander, yet he's sidelined in his own freaking film. That's kind of not cool. I mean, where Newt is the main character, had a main part in the first and second, he's very much sidelined in this film, which also takes down the objective score and also partially takes down the subjective score. When you sideline the main character, what really is the point of having him in the film then? I do like how at the end of the film with Tina's sister Queenie coming back, they are absolutely breaking the law in America by having a no-mage marry a witch. So apparently during the time between Fantastic Beasts 1 and Fantastic Beasts 3, they're now allowing marriage between witch and no-mage. So magic kind and wizarding kind, or wizarding kind and muggle kind, or no magic or non-magic kind, are now apparently allowed to marry in the States. So, yeah, that's something that they kind of forgot was forbidden. There are just so many problems with this film. They didn't explain the changes. They don't explain, or they screw up the lore even further. While Fantastic Beasts is entertaining, for a moviegoer, it is entertaining. For a fan of the Harry Potter franchise and whatnot, the film is split between fans, hated amongst some fans, loved or amongst other fans. Me, I like this movie a little bit. It has some good stuff in it. However, I am still able to acknowledge that there are some very deep flaws in it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this, folks. I really think that they could have done better in this movie. They should not have changed certain things pertaining to Ariana Dumbledore. And they really did a good job at solving the case, or the curious case, of Credence Barebone, making him a Dumbledore, but not the Dumbledore that everybody else thought of, you know? Anyway, folks, that is going to be my review. As I said, objectively, this film is a 6 out of 10. It fails objectively. Subjectively, it's an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but I do acknowledge the big problems it has. Moviegoer, the people in the theater, they liked it. So it's a 9 to a 10 out of 10. Anyway, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. What do you think of Fantastic Beasts and the Crime, or the Secrets of Dumbledore? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.